Battery cage system or deep litter system. A lot of poultry farmers, especially beginners, are always confused as to which of these structures to use when starting their poultry journey: battery cage system or deep litter system. In this video, I'm going to be explaining what deep litter system is, what battery cage system is, their advantages, disadvantages, and how to manage their litters, which is their dropping. So make sure you watch this video to the end, because at the end of this video, you'll be able to choose which of them fits in your budget. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notification for more poultry tips like this, and share to a poultry farmer who needs this. Welcome to day 24 of the 30-day series on how to raise your birds from day old as a beginner. Okay, remember we are raising our pullets. Okay, they are 24 days old today. We've been giving them a lot of medications, there are vaccines, organic herbs, and all of that. So make sure that you go down to my page and watch how we've been, raising these chicks from day old and the different type of medication we've been giving to them. Battery cage system is a type of structure in poultry farming whereby your birds are in cages and they are provided with drinking line and feeding lines. Okay, here are a few advantages of battery cage. Battery cage is the highest form of cleanliness and disease control when it comes to poultry structure. Yes, because these birds, they are not mixing up, directly with their birds dropping. So it helps to reduce disease in the farm. Okay, and then if at all any bird is sick, it's easy for you to fish them out. Okay, another advantage is feed conversion and also help to reduce feed wastage. Okay, you're able to tell which of the bird is eating well, and if at all there's any leftover feed, you can always scoop and redistribute them, which also help to save feed in the farm. Another advantage is that feed monitoring and record keeping is very easy. It's easy for you to tell how much feed or the quantity of feed these birds are eating, and you're able to keep track of their growth. Another advantage is that egg collection is very easy. You can easily collect eggs, and then go about your other activities. Another advantage is that battery cage will help to reduce egg breakage in your farm. Okay, because these birds are not mixing up directly with the eggs, whereby they'll be pecking on the eggs or stepping on the eggs. So it makes egg collection, it makes your egg to come out very clean. And customers love clean eggs. Here are a few disadvantages of battery cage system. High cost of setup, which discourages a lot of farmers that want to set up battery cage. Another disadvantage is that these birds, they need ventilation. Okay, you need to build a shade where you put that battery cage so that they will have enough ventilation. Another disadvantage is that it requires proper planning and investment, which still leads to high cost of setup because you will need money to put all of that in place. Okay, and here are a few ways you can dispose of your birds dropping as a battery cage user. One of it is that you can sprinkle sawdust or wood shavings as beddings, so it will help to solidify the droppings and make it easy for you to pack and bag them up and sell to crop farmers as manure, thereby recycling your waste into value. Another way is that you can dig up a pit where you bury these their droppings. Okay, another way is that you can construct a pit like the soccer way, the one we use in our house. Okay, you no longer need floor beddings. Okay, once it's ready to clean, you have to use a pressure tap, that will flush those they are dropping into that sewage, which is already connected with pipe and all of that. So you will still need money to set up all of those things. Okay, so now let's get to deep litter system. Deep litter system is a type of structure whereby your beds are on the floor. When I mean on the floor, I don't mean directly on the floor, because you'll be needing floor beddings. You can use wood shavings, sawdust, rice husk, wheat bran, whichever one that you want to use as their floor beddings. Okay, in this type of system, the beds move freely, which help them to exhibit their natural form. Okay, they are not in cage, the beds are free. Here are a few advantages of deep litter system. Low cost of setup, which is perfect for beginner. Okay, beginners can usually look for a small space, few materials, set up, and then they've started their poultry journey. Another advantage is that deep litter, okay, enables natural growth and body balance, especially in your broilers. In some countries, caging of birds is actually prohibited because they see it as animal abuse. So that's why in some countries they practice so much of free range birds. So if you like your birds to move freely and be free to peck around and all of that, deep litter system is suitable for them. So here are a few disadvantages of deep litter. Tracking of feed record and monitoring is difficult. Okay, because by the time you pour feed for them in their pen, you won't be able to tell which of the bird is eating, and then there is a lot of feed wastage when it comes to deep litter. Okay, another disadvantage is that egg breaks easily and you have a lot of cracked eggs. Okay, these birds, they mix up directly with their eggs. Okay, they tend to peck on their egg and then break some. Sometimes they will even eat the egg sef. You won't even see the shell, and then you will see that the percentage of your eggs keeps fluctuating, going up and down. Another disadvantage is that it's difficult for you to control disease. Yes, one of the major diseases that affect deep litter system is coccidiosis. Okay, because these birds, they tend to move freely with their droppings. Their feed, you pour, they'll pick it up and eat. So one of the recurring disease that tends to affect deep litter system is coccidiosis. But if it's well managed, if you are able to handle it very well, because in deep litter system you have to prioritize hygiene. Okay, you have to prioritize hygiene so you'll be able to save your flock and have good flock, okay, among your birds. Your birds will be healthy. Another disadvantage in deep litter system is uneven growth. Okay, you need to provide enough feeders for this your birds, because you can't tell which of the bird is eating the most, and it's difficult for you to even fish out which of the particular bird is sick. If one thing should happen to one bird, it's easy to, escalate and spread to the other birds that can affect the rest of your flock. So in deep litter system, you have to take and prioritize hygiene and discipline. Okay, here is how to dispose of your birds dropping in deep litter. Okay, because you already have floor beddings there, it makes it easy for you to pack their droppings, bag them up and sell to crop farmers as manure. Or you can also dig a pit somewhere in your farm where you bury their droppings. Okay, so my advice to poultry farmers is that start with whatever your budget fits in. Okay, but I would advise that as a beginner you start with deep litter system. Okay, because if you have especially if you have limited space, start with deep litter, then make your profit from your base. Then over time you can expand, and grow. Battery cage system is suitable for, big commercial farms that want to start big, that have the budget and the capital. So at the end, it all depends on your budget. Okay, what your budget can carry. I hope you find this helpful, and then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more poultry tips like this. Thank you.